Hello and welcome to another Mordian Mondays. This is episode 91, and this week, guys, whilst I don't have any fully painted models to show you, I have a whole host of hobby activity to talk to you all about. So get yourselves ready, strap in, pour yourself your favourite beverage. Let's get straight into today's episode. So the first thing that I want to talk about is these cheeky zoggers that are on screen at the moment. You see, at the end of the last tournament that I went to, because I did quite well, I went 3-1-1. I treated myself to a couple of orc units because, as you guys know, I'm building up an orc force in the background, just something to have as a very much a casual, fun force. I don't care if it wins or loses or whatever. It's just there so I can chuck 2,000 points of crazy orky boys down on the field and just crump stuff. And I thought, you know what I've always quite liked? I've quite liked looters. I've quite liked Orc Daka in general. I like just Daka. When I played Dawn of War 2, and I used to play it quite a bit back in the day, I used to always like Orcs. Even though I could play as Guard in Retribution, I always used to like playing as Orcs. Simply because you could get shooter boys, and you could just, when you upgraded those guys, the amount of bullets that they chucked out was just silly. It was just silly, but it was just fantastic. And that's one of my favourite things I like about Orcs, chucking out loads and loads of bullets. So, I wanted to get myself some looters, but the official looter kit, I'm not a huge fan of. In fact, if you look at those guys in the back, there's 3 rows of guys here. If you look at the guys in the back, they're the actual looter models. Whilst it's kind of cool, they've got these sort of gun rigs. I find it a bit weird that all of them would have this sort of similar setup, and that I actually feel like looters should have a huge variety of heavy weapons that they're carrying in all sorts of different ways. They're meant to be, you know, looters. They're all different and they've all customized their own things and they've got their own gear and all that kind of stuff. So I thought, what an absolute prime opportunity for me to kit bash some of my own. Get one box that it's clearly identifiable on the battlefield what the heck these guys are. So get one box of looters, but then just kit bash the other ones. Just kit bash them. So what I did is I got a box of looters and I got a box of boys. Just straight up old fashioned boys. You can't go wrong with a box of boys. And I basically kit bashed an additional 11 looters, if you include the boss knob from the boys box, just using other heavy weapons that I had from just lying around. And that's one of the great things about the current Orc kit. And I know it's going away and it's going to be replaced with, you know, the new Orc boys kit, which does look fantastic. But there's just something so customizable about this old boys box that you can get. And so what I did is I was like, you know what? I've had like 4 or 5 units of Orc boys. So, and I've got a big shooter that comes in the looter box. So I'll just use a lot of big shooters and I'll just like pimp them out so that they look a bit like, you know, a bit more than just your standard big shooter. And that'll look cool. That'll make up some boys, some looters. So that's what I've done. So that's what you can see on that front row there. I had a big shooter that came in the boys box, and then I had 4 other ones available as well, because you get one in the looter box, and I had 3 other boxes of boys that I've sort of built and whatnot with this part of this force. So yeah, there's 5 big shooters, and you know, I just pimped them out. And so you can see the one on the left is just, I was like, you know what? Not every, you know, looters obviously like shooting, but also looters are orcs. And there will be a looter who just likes to stab people with his big gun. And so that's what that guy's done. He's decided to strap, you know what, I'm going to have bullets coming out of everywhere. I've got bullets in my hand, I've got bullets strapped to my chest, I've got bullets in my backpack. But at the same time, I've strapped 3 bayonets to my gun because I'm an orc. And that's cool. You know, so that's just an example of what I just love doing with this kit. And likewise, you can see, like, you know, you've got on the right hand side of that front row, you've got, you know, I've sort of taken like a slugger and I've trimmed it down and whatnot, and then I've put it on a guy's shoulder pads so it looks like he's got like almost like a Predator style plasma caster, but it's a Orky style bullet caster. So that looks kind of cool. And then there's another big shooter there, which I've just like, you know what, just strap a magazine to it, but then also have bullets coming out of it, so it's got like bullet feeds from 2 sources. So that's just like, you know, I've always just thought, no one likes taking big shooters in their Orc boy mobs anyway. even though they're cool, no one bothers doing it. Because, you know, Slugger Boys all the way, am I right? But, you know, those big shooters look absolutely fine as some sort of just big gun for the looters. So that's what I've done with them. And then in the back row, not the back row, the middle row, I actually kit bashed 3 more boys. And the weapons I actually used for them, and you can't see them, you can see them all right in this picture. The weapons I used for them were actually the combi weapons from my knobs box. So when you get the start collecting set for Orcs, the current one, it comes with a unit of knobs. Now everyone knows that you build knobs for combat, right? And you know the sort of prevailing school of thought is, you know, big choppers and choppers are good for your knobs. You know, that's what you want to be doing. So but you actually do get like 3 combi weapons that, you know, just 3 combi weapons that you don't do anything with, like a combi scorcher and 2 combi rocket launchers. So I thought, well, you know what, the arms look a bit big on an Orc boy, but you know, not too bad. Some Orc boys are just going to be hench, right? That's just how it works. I mean, if you're a looter and you've not got one of these big, you know, gun rigs, or you've not got a strap for your big shooter, you're going to be pretty hench lugging your big gun around. So that's what I did with those. I just kit bashed literally 3 of the big combi weapons from the knob box onto those guys, and yeah, I just used some extra armor plates there to cover up where the lines don't really fit on a couple of the boys, but it's fine. It doesn't look bad at all. I mean, Orcs, the kits are almost designed to be slapped together a little bit. So that's what I've done. So that actually covers all the looters. Now I actually ran out of big shooters and whatnot at this point, but I thought, you know what, I'll build the remaining 3 guys that I've got with rocket launchers. Okay, and there was 2 reasons for this. So under they've changed looters. So back in the day, before the current codex, which isn't even out yet, but you could get it as part of a special box set. Anyway, let's not moan about that. The internet's moaned about that enough already. But under the current box set, you can't just take 15 looters now. You have to take 1 spanner, aka sergeant, for each 5 in the squad. So if you want to take a big mob of 15 looters, you actually only get 12 looters, but you get 3 sergeants in the squad. Now, I mean, that's fine, but for some reason they've made it so those sergeants can't get like the def guns that all the other looters get. So it's a bit of a funny one. So what I decided to do is, I know the looter box does come with a spanner, and I've actually built him, and he's got like a custom mega blast at the back. But I just figured, again, he can actually just be a normal looter. He can just be a normal looter who's got himself some sort of energy-based weapon, and it's just basically got the same stats as a def gun. Fine, whatever. Yeah, okay. And I figured with the 3 remaining boys that I've got, if you give them rocket launchers, spanners can actually take rocket launchers. And I figured, well, I don't want to give them a custom mega blaster, because I've actually got a boy who's running one of those. I don't have any spare to make 3 of them either. I don't want to give them big shooters because I've already kit bashed all my big shooters that are there. You know, I don't want to have any more big shooters. And I realised if I use them as rocket launchers, that's actually a really solid choice to give your spanners rocket launchers, because whilst it's a bit expensive, it does give your looters a little bit more anti-tank punch. Just a little bit more. And what you've got to remember is rocket launchers for Orcs have changed, so they're now heavy D3 blast, which means, you know, on average you're getting 2 rocket launcher shots per spanner. So actually, not only is this unit putting out 12 like def gun shots a time, 12 def gun guys a time, which is I think DACA 3-2. So you're looking at, you know, 24 def gun shots a turn. You're also looking at an average of 6 rocket launch shots a turn. So there's actually still 30 shots coming from this squad, which is really, really nice. It's really, really nice. And there is the potential for this squad, you know, between DACA ranges and those D3s, there's very much potential for the squad to still be able to put out 45 shots. You know, that can happen. So I know some people are kind of lamenting the spanner thing. Yeah, it does mean your loot are going to cost more overall, but having that ability to take the anti-tank punch is really good. And the other thing that I've done is, because 2 of the knob weapons that you get are combi rocket launchers, what I can do is, if I want to take a unit of tank busters, I can take like 11 looters in a squad, and then I can take 5 of these guys as tank busters. So, and I've got enough spanners in there so that I can just run one spanner with like a big shooter, one spanner with the custom Mega Blast or whatever. I've got options. So yeah, it's just really flexible and really customizable. So that's one of the hobby things that I worked on this week. One of the other things that I worked on this week is I got some more terrain for the battle bunker. So I know that battle reports have been a little bit thin on the ground recently, guys. That's just because I've been absolutely smashing the tournament scene. And the thing is with smashing the tournament scene is, especially at first, I was having to do lots of painting and hobbying to get ready for tournaments, and I couldn't really afford to put the time aside to do battle reports. But that's not so much the case anymore. So I'm hoping to do more battle reports. But the only problem is that I'm just going to so many events and I'm getting a little burned out. I may have thrown myself too much in the deep end. And the funny thing is that it just means that I'm just tired and I'm burned out. So I'm not playing as much non-tournament game 40k at the moment. I've sort of passed a few practice games down at the club and whatnot. Hopefully it's just because there's kind of been a flurry of events. But we'll see how it goes. But the plan is I've got more terrain for the battle bunker. Now, I've bought 2 lots of terrain. I've bought some more just standard basic ruins. And the reason for these guys, for these ruins, is it now allows me to build a proper tournament board. The problem with the old terrain that I had, and I'm talking the old new stuff, which the battle system stuff, is that it was really, really cool and fantastically sort of cinematic and all that, and really good at looking like a good moon base. But it wasn't super practical, and the buildings often took up a large footprint, but didn't. They were almost in the way. They took up too large of a footprint without providing enough cover and whatnot. So for a competitive board, so I figured what I've got there is I've got those moon base, those sort of futuristic military base buildings, and they're great for just normal games of just chill 40k. And then I've also got more of these ruins now, which I can use to build a proper tournament board setup. I've got enough ruins that I can run a genuine tournament board now, which is fantastic. And I've also got another set of terrain, which is the Shantytown set that from Battle Systems. And the reason I've gone for this is, yes, whilst it's sort of more narrative terrain, the buildings aren't quite as sloped. They've not got as many pointy out bits. They're a bit more just like square corrugated iron shantytown blocks, which makes them a happy medium, a happy halfway point between the sort of moon-based buildings that I got in the first wave and the ruins. These guys, these buildings, these shantytown buildings are halfway between, which means I've got so much terrain now. I've got so much variety. The last bits, the sort of last 2 things I need to do in terms of terrain for the battle bunker is I have got a load of MDF terrain, which I'm probably just going to get commission painted up so I can focus on my models. And I also want to get some more battle mats, because I've got the 2 Games Workshop battle mats, which allows me to have 2 kinds of battlefield because they're double-sided. But I want to run something other than just the blue-sided mat and the orange-sided mat. So I am going to get myself some other battle mats, but they'll be coming in later stages for sure. And then the last thing I want to talk to you about hobby-wise, because we're not done yet, the Great Mordian Restoration Project. We've had our fun with the Scions, guys. We've had our fun. I've painted up all my Scion models. I did buy another box of Scions, just 5 guys, which I'm going to get built and painted up just because then I've got a nice even amount of special weapons. It's just a bit of redundancy. But basically we've had our fun with the Scions now. It's time to get back on to the Great Mordian Restoration Project. It's just time to get on that again. I do kind of see the last 3 months of me doing these Scions has kind of been part of the Mordian Restoration Project, because it's guard and it has helped. It definitely has been a big chunk of my guard backlog cleared. But my Scions are a separate army, so it's clearing the guard backlog, but not clearing the Mordian backlog. But we have cleared basically all of the Scion backlog now, which is fantastic. That army, just like I said, apart from these 5 guys that I just need to build and paint, that army is basically fully cleared now, which is just fantastic. And so I have been doing some more work on the Great Mordian Restoration Project. And as of recording this video today, I have just spent 3 or 4 hours today just going through the Dettol bath and stripping down an additional full platoon of metal Mordians. That's right, I'll say that again. 50 plus metal Mordians with officers and all that good stuff have been stripped down and they're drying now. There's all the bits of Dettol are dripping off them, and they will be getting fixed up. They just need some new bases. They'll be getting some new bases, and they will be getting spray painted, base coated, and we will be back to regular, normal Mordian Mondays. That's going to be the plan going forward. Anyway, guys, that's all of my hobbying news for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I would really like to know what you guys have been working on. I love hearing about my my followers and my subs hobby progress, because I like reading about your stuff because it gives me ideas for when I'm doing my own hobby progress. And I just like knowing what other people are up to, I suppose. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and of course, I'll see you guys next time.